Hi guys, welcome back. So in today's video I thought I would talk to you a bit about my new allotment. So if you're not from the UK and you're not familiar with the allotment system, I'll briefly outline what it is and what it is that I'm getting, just to fill you in on that. So here in the UK we have a right coded into law that says that if there are more than, say, I think it's a dozen people in a particular location that want to have allotments to grow their own food on, then they can club together and the local council has got a duty to provide suitable land for that purpose. You rent it at a very, very nominal fee for your plot of land and you are able to grow your own fruit and veg. You are also now allowed to keep chickens and rabbits for livestock purposes, for personal use, but I shan't be doing that, but that is now part of the allotment law as well. So in my local area there was a waiting list that was 30 families long before my name, so I went on the list several years ago wanting to get an allotment. But I was told that it'd be years and years before my name would come up. But thankfully, where they've been building all the new houses in my town, the housing associations and the builders and things that were involved in buying and constructing all of those houses, buying the land and everything, were asked to provide new allotments. So they've built a whole area of new allotments which have concrete slabs with lockable sheds on and security fencing and all sorts of things, you know, custom put in for us, and then top grade topsoil as well. That's then something that we can come in and rent. So I'm going along on Sunday to the opening day, where those of us who've had our names on the list and who have accepted when we were offered these particular new plots coming available, and said yes, we're still interested, we still want to do it and go ahead. They went through and they contact the next person down on the list until they've got the right number of people for the number of plots they've got, and so I'm one of the lucky people who is getting a plot this time, and so we go along on Sunday, we get allocated our plot. We find out all the rules, and there's a whole bunch of things that we'll need to do as a group to set up this new site, because for example there's no hedges and they want to build a community orchard, and we need to decide what shared tools and things that we want, and there's all sorts of things that are going on as part of the sort of community of people who are allotment holders, both on the new site and on the one just down the road, which has been there for many years as part of the town. So that's kicking off this week, which is very exciting. I got a letter a couple of weeks before Christmas telling me that my name had come to the top of the list, and I was very excited. So all my Christmas presents were basically allotment themed or music themed this year. So I have got all the gear that I need from where I've been gardening here, and a few extra bits that I needed that I haven't had here because I've only been container gardening. So I've got a new shovel and a new spade. That's the same thing, a new shovel and a new fork. Language is escaping me today. I will do a video on my health issues, probably immediately after this one while I remember to do it, but language is one of my problems. So I will probably be doing quite a bit of constructing raised beds and things in the first year. When I say I mean myself and James. James will be doing a lot of that for me and with me, so old pallet wood and things like that, recycling compost bags from the new compost that I'll need. I've got a lot of compost from this year and from my compost bin to fill some of the beds with, but invariably if I'm going to make them raised and raised enough so that they are mobility wise easier for me to manage, then I will probably need more compost. So the plastic that the compost bales come in is very good for lining wooden troughs, as I did with my bean planter last year, to protect the wooden sides from the dampness of the soil and things within, and I'll be treating the wood and so on to make it last longer. But I'll be doing that from reclaimed materials as far as possible, and I'm quite looking forward to that. I will also be taking my grow bags and things that I've got here down there, and I will be doing more flower gardening here, so specifically flowers for teas. I got some lavender last year, but because it's toxic to dogs I have to keep it out in the front garden. But I also want to grow hibiscus and chamomile. I had terrible trouble with my chamomile and with my stevia plants that I started off. The chamomile got eaten by aphids, and the stevia I wasn't very well and didn't water it, and the heating got it. All my windowsills have radiators directly underneath them, and so any plants that you put on the windowsill so they can get the light get toasted, and my stevia plant got toasted. So I'll be having another go at those in the new year. I've got my little greenhouse which I'll be taking up to the allotment, which my in-laws got me last year, and I'll be doing a lot of seed starts and things. It's very close to my house, so I can walk, and I can walk there with my crutches or with my walking stick, and that should be fine. And provided I'm not doing too much heavy duty things like turning the earth, which is why I'm not going to be doing in soil planting, then hopefully I should be fine. So going to be sort of setting all of that up over the next few weeks. So I will do a little playlist series of videos on how that goes and how setting all of that up goes and what my plans are. I got a new book which I asked for Christmas, which is a Royal Horticultural Society book on gardening through the year. Now I specifically asked for this one. I saw it on Lavender and Leeks. She had this book as one of her book reviews, and I really like the look of it. What I really particularly like about it is it breaks down month by month throughout the year what tasks you need to be doing in a given month in the garden, both for aesthetic gardening for flowers and things, but also for edible gardening. It breaks down the tasks, what things you should be planting, what things you should be sowing indoors, what things you should be harvesting, all the various different parts of it, which I thought was very useful, particularly with the colder months of the year. I think I'm quite confident on what I can do in spring and what I can do in summer. And with the raspberries and things, I know they go into the autumn, and I know I can do spinach in the autumn, and I know that the carrots will be okay in the autumn. But once it gets sort of into autumn, I run out of ideas of things I can actually plant or grow, and into the winter as well. So I wanted to know things that I could do throughout the year to actually have a steady supply of food, fresh food. So I watch a couple of different channels on here from allotment holders and edible gardeners, whether they're gardening at home or in an allotment really. And a lot of them are they're still harvesting even in between Christmas and New Year. So it's definitely possible with cold frames and with greenhouses and things to keep gardening all year round, which is something that I haven't really managed here so far. So that's something that I would like to do next year. I would at some point also like to set up a brassica cage with netting to stop the caterpillars, so that I can actually attempt to grow anything in the brassica family. I don't care which, anything at all will do. Ideally broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli, something like this, but just anything, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, I don't really care, but anything I've tried here, cauliflower, just absolutely devoured by caterpillars. So I've had absolutely no luck with the brassica family, and that's something that I would like to try. But that's quite a lot of construction, so that probably won't all happen overnight, or even in the first year, the first season that I'm gardening the allotment. So that's going to be a slow burn project, but I'll take you along and show you what I'm doing step by step, and hopefully that should be exciting and interesting for those of you that are into sort of a bit more self-sustainability and growing your own food and reducing the air miles of the food that you consume. So hopefully that tickles your fancy, and you'll be interested in seeing some videos on that. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, it really does help, and remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.